The Auditor General's shocking report details the level of Liberal corruption found in the Sustainable Development Technology Canada program. $123 million worth of contracts were given out inappropriately, and $76 million were given to Liberal-friendly connections.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.
How y'all doing? Larry Brock is a man on fire, one of my favorites to watch. He's in committee again.
The majority of MPs in the House of Commons voted for a Conservative motion that orders the Auditor General, the Department of Industry, and SDTC, the Green Slush Fund, to collect and submit them to the Parliamentary Law Clerk. The motion passed essentially programs the Parliamentary Law Clerk to hand over files to the RCMP. They will be delivered to the RCMP headquarters. Will you commit, Commissioner or Deputy Commissioner, to undertaking a review of those documents? The AG's report proves again this Prime Minister is not worth the cost or corruption. The report reveals massive corruption at the Green Slush Fund, highlighting the misappropriation of $76 million through 90 cases of conflict of interest. Their directors sat at a table, awarded millions of dollars to their friends and to their own business interests, all the while more and more Canadians are hungry and homeless. The question is simple. What plan does the minister have to get that money back?
We got a shocking response to a question from my colleague, Mr. Perkins, from your office. Are you able to confirm that the total amount of money that was handed out by SDTC in cases of conflicts of interest is more than $250 million? It's $336 million.
So I'd like to just provide a bit of clarity to the figures. So there were 96 cases of conflict of interest that we believed were managed well, where board members recused themselves from the vote. Those were linked to $259 million of funding. Then there were 90 cases, as we noted in the audit, where there was conflict of interest that were not properly managed, where individuals who had declared a conflict of interest continued to be involved in the discussion and then vote. Those were linked to $76 million of funding. Why you can't just add the two up is some of the funding appears in both buckets. So it isn't just a case of adding the two numbers, but it represents a total $319 million.
$319 million in the cases of the conflicts of interest. Thank you very much.
The SDTC board, executives, and senior management must be held accountable for their gross mismanagement of taxpayer money and the gross misconduct that's been perpetrated by the toxic senior management team that has victimized countless employees. And the federal government must also be held accountable for its embarrassing lack of oversight that's allowed these problems to persist and its egregious cover-up of the truth that occurred this fall. At the beginning of this year, a comprehensive 345-page presentation was created and submitted to the Privy Council office at the request of the Office of the Auditor General of Canada, who we originally went to. This package contained documents that outline gross mismanagement across every aspect of SDTC's operations and governance. It highlighted non-compliance with the SDTC Act and contribution agreement across all of the organization's funding streams and serious breaches of the conflict of interest policies by the executives and board. The package also included evidence of the toxic workplace culture that was created by CEO Leah Lawrence and her friend and still current VP Zoe Kolbuck, who've been allowed to continue abusing and harassing employees by a passive senior management team and board that protects and hides the abuse. All of this information underwent review by PCO and was then forwarded to ISED, who subsequently engaged RCGT to conduct an independent fact-finding exercise to validate this information. Here are the findings for everyone. The Seed Fund, Ecosystem Fund, and Scale-Up Fund were all found to be ineligible due to multiple violations of the contribution agreement, significant deviations from the due diligence process, and conflict of interest breaches by board members and executives. This finding encompasses nearly 200 companies that all received over $80 million, all of which was improperly funded using taxpayer money. The two COVID payments in 2020 and 2021 were also given to the full portfolio of companies and totaled almost $40 million, and were also deemed to be ineligible as the use of these funds was not effectively tracked. And several board members in that instance also violated conflict of interest by approving almost $4 million to themselves to over a dozen companies where they all hold significant ownership or executive positions.
Smash the like and give us a subscription. We love making these videos. They're wild. Let's get back to the show.
The report also revealed that SDTC lacked HR processes or policies, and issues were never even reported to the board. And conveniently, the RCGT investigators couldn't even find a single record of any complaint ever being made in the history of the organization. This is a staggering level of incompetence, willful ignorance, and corruption that has resulted in SDTC improperly distributing almost $150 million in taxpayer dollars just in the past few years and abusing dozens of people that have only tried to talk about the truth. The organization deserved to be suspended. The organization also deserved a new board, executive, and senior management team, but that never happened. Not a single one of the individuals responsible for these issues has faced a single consequence. No executive or board member was terminated or even given the slightest handcuffs. And every single person that was directly implicated even had their names redacted and protected by ISED in the RCGT report. Even more shocking is the fact that despite these findings, ISED continues to allow these individuals to manage taxpayer dollars and allows them to continue perpetuating the abuse against employees who've been desperately seeking protection from their own government for over a year. That cannot stand. SDTC's board and executive continues to insist that the issues are just minor inconsistencies, while ISED and the minister continue to claim that no findings warrant serious action. These are false narratives, and I'm here to provide documented proof of all of the lies that continue to be perpetuated by both SDTC and ISED. I believe that my testimony can provide an in-depth overview of the key issues at SDTC because I worked on the financial due diligence and compliance of projects at SDTC for the key 2-year period that coincides with the most serious findings in the RCGT report. I am also intimately aware of exactly how ISED understood the issues and the clear direction that the total bureaucracy had laid out. The minister and PCO have been aware of this file for more than they are telling to the public, and there are even documented evidence that they even engaged with everyone at ISED to make sure there were edits to the briefings before they were officially sent to them. All of this is backed up by documents, transcripts, and recordings, some of which we've already submitted to this committee. Thank you, and I welcome all your questions.
My name's Aaron. This is Canadian Looney, and we're learning about Canadian federal politics, trying to share that with you. Sometimes we have fun here. It's frustrating to see what's happening to my country, like our country. It's disgusting how downhill it's gone in a very short period of time. For the longest part of my life, I thought that I lived in the premier country. I don't feel like that anymore. I think that we've got premier people, but like, number one, I love Canadians. Not all the politicians, though. I have trouble trusting these guys. Like, subscribe, share, get notified. Please leave a comment. I love the comments. That's it. We'll be back. We're trying to learn about Canadian federal politics, and what we learn, we share on here. That's it. When we have an interesting video, we post it. That's how it goes. So yeah, like, subscribe, share, get notified, all those fun things. Please leave a comment. I'm Aaron. Thank you for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one. There's going to be a lot more. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. How y'all doing? Larry Brock is a man on fire, one of my favorites to watch. He's in committee again.